I think it's hit me, if that's the right expression, more from a professional point of view, because I was just 2-3 months into a new post at work and had been given this post of looking at all the inequalities in NHS, that, you know, the specific board that I work for. And I thought, well, that's a pretty big ask. You know, you're looking at causes of causes as to why people do not enjoy good health as a result of inequalities. So I wanted to start right away looking at the whole issue of leadership, because I was aware, or I am aware, that it's not just a collective leadership that's required, but people looking at their own style of leadership and really taking a responsibility in terms of why inequalities exist, if that makes sense. And I work within a health improvement public health setting, and I have to speak in present terms actually, but I'm really tired of things being done the same old way, target driven, not any really serious questioning going on as to why is this not working. And I may have colleagues that would say that's really unfair. We do ask that, but I certainly felt 3 months into the role, I need something to help me here. I need a real sort of different way, or something that's going to help people look at things really differently. And serendipity stepped her foot in, and I heard about the work that I heard about Theory U and had heard about it. I heard through work that I'm involved in with the Scottish Recovery Consortium. I sniffed about my own organisation. I thought, nah, I'm not going to get the taste. It's not the taste. I'm not going to get the interest here, because there's work needs to be done for that to happen. It wasn't that I was writing it off. I just thought, this isn't the fertile ground. This isn't the social field. You know, the soil wasn't right there. So I thought, right, if this is my feelings, there's other people I know out there are thinking similar things. So it's maybe not the fairest way to do it, but I just thought, I'm acting in an instant here. I put an email out to people that I really thought partner-wise may be interested in, and it was very specific. It wasn't just like, have you heard of u.lab? It was like, would you like to join the hub that we're forming? And that's how it worked. It was like, not really sure, but I'm coming along. And there was no resistance whatsoever. And we had people from Citizens Advice, we had people from other third sector organisations that had already been involved in the initial Berlin week in January last year, or one person anyway, so there was good experience there. Other people from NHS, but not from public health or health improvement, bar one person who's been a social activist all his life really, and I knew he would take it like a duck to water. And there was a consultant of older people. She had heard about it through a development course that she'd done and was interested in coming along, quite sceptical as to where or what it would do for her. But after, I think, the first or second, she definitely saw there's connections here that I didn't know, existed. And just us going through, just the start of the U really, you could see that this particular person was very interested and could see the sense of it. There were another couple of sort of senior managers that dipped their toes in for reasons. I mean, one of them didn't have the time, or they couldn't make the commitment at the time. It wasn't the right time for them. And the other one, very interested, came along 3 or 4 times and said, sorry, if it comes along next year, I would do it, that sort of thing. But there was certainly enough interest from different sectors. And we actually had somebody who went on, I would say probably, well, she didn't need to speak for herself, but probably galvanised by the whole journey of u.lab, she put herself forward as a counsellor, and in the journey of u.lab became a counsellor and is still active with us in u.lab, so that's great to know.
Yeah.
Definitely case clinics, and I think just before the second u.lab began, we were asked questions. I think it was maybe those people who wanted to be hub organisers again. If there's one thing you would advise, what is it? And I put down for there to be more opportunity, or for people to really embrace doing case clinics. Because last year I think we only did about 2 or 3, because we actually chose to have our hub on the day that the live sessions always came, it was always a Thursday. Therefore, our hub sometimes wanted to dip into the material that was actually on the course and talk about it. Especially those that was feeling a wee bit guilty, like, no, we're a wee bit behind or whatever. So that sort of forming situation, I don't think we focused enough on doing case clinics, but we all said that and reflected on that as a hub last year. So this year it was very different, and we definitely did all 5, possibly 6, with each of them having quite a powerful impact on all the participants of the hub. But also stakeholders, empathy, stakeholder interviews, empathy walks, and journaling. They've actually been definitely more powerful this year.
Okay.
And I think possibly because 3 of us in this hub this year also took the hub last year, or participated in u.lab, I should say. So I think there's a real benefit in having people that have been through it already and kind of passing on the baton, if that makes sense. And we always, last year and this year, there was a great buzz in the rooms, real excitement. And both last year and this year, on the last live session, we got a mention. So that was even better. You think, woo, it's got on the map. But it's amazing to see what effect it's got in the hub, because last year, I remember Adam saying he would put in any questions, and of course the doubt in my head was, what chance we were sitting in Blantyre Miners Welfare Club, you know, one sort of rainy day, I think it was the end of October or November, I can't remember, beginning of November. And I thought, no, these kids will be right up in Twitter, and I thought, I'm a Luddite like that. But I did say to everybody, if we got a question and people were going, and I thought, you're too slow. And that was kind of maybe where, call it experience, call it bossiness, I just thought, and I emailed it thinking, there's a snowball's chance in hell it'll get picked, because there's thousands of people who are going to be writing in here, and using Twitter or Facebook or whatever. But I just did that, and within seconds, and so we've got a question here from Scotland, and the cheers at a football ground. And I think that was really important, because it allowed people to believe that we were being listened to, we were very much part of it, and people took ownership of that question, if that makes sense, because we actually asked a question about how we would get businesses involved, because we were aware that, okay, we were a group of colleagues wanting to look at inequalities, but trying to branch it out to a bigger business world. And what's your views on this? Where does this sit, in terms of that wider context? And then this year, when we got a question, I suppose it's like one of my weaknesses, which is also a strength. I'm a bit of a dog with a bone. So I was aware that Julie had asked questions to hub organisers if we had anything we wanted to ask, and it was the night before the last live session. I was aware I hadn't answered her, and I thought, well, I have got a question, or have got, or it was actually in response to what difference has it all made, and I responded again with the same sort of feeling. Was it the same doubt? Wasn't it a voice of doubt? It was just like, try to be practical. I'll never get picked. There's again thousands of people, and our question got read out, and it was really important for our hub again, because they saw it was a simple remark that had been made about the change that they'd talked about in their levels of conversation and listening, but the fact that it was getting reinforced on the live session, and Julie and Otto saying these sort of things are really important. So I think it was much more meaningful. I personally chose, I was working at Edinburgh Prison that day, and I chose to do an empathy walk with prisoner. I found it, as I would have expected, moving, frustrating, because of some of the things, you know, that I was hearing. And you might know or think you know some of these things, but to actually hear it from a human being's mouth, it tugs at your heartstring. It also frustrates you because you think, I can't do anything here. And it wasn't my role really to be asking people, how could you take this further then? It was literally just doing that walk, and it was a physical walk as well, because we were, it was the recovery walk that we do nationally, and the Scottish Recovery Consortium does a recovery walk every year, and that was on the following day, but the Scottish prisoners, they couldn't do it, so we went into certain prisons, and I was asked to go into Edinburgh and did it, so it was quite moving actually. And at the end of it, this particular person, I said, thanks very much for sharing with me, and he looked me straight in the eye and said, thank you very much for listening. And I thought that for me that was quite profound as well, because he could have just said thanks for sharing, thanks for listening, but it was quite focused. And I wondered, maybe it would have been useful for me to have asked the question back, but I didn't think it was appropriate at the time. I wondered if it was because this person was aware that I stayed silent almost the whole time he talked. And I think it's been the use with other partners, say from Fire and Rescue, from Police Scotland or whatever, because I work with a whole range of community planning partners. When I've used, it's invariably been using little clips from Otto's videos, and when I've done that, say within a session, seminar, whatever, there's been a silence straight after it, and people going, wow. And particularly from Fire and Rescue, there was maybe a session I helped do about 6 weeks ago. I'm trying to remember which clip I used. I don't think it was the sleepwalking clip. I've done that with another session. It was something like that. Really reiterating the message, though, if we keep working with results that we've got from the way we've worked in the past, change isn't going to happen. It's about, you know, but breaking that down, and it was just the right clip to show at that point, because both Fire and Rescue and police reacted to that. So for me, it's just it's an opening, and if you keep mentioning u.lab, I think people think it's this kind of not quite esoteric group that we all belong to. You know, people u.lab, what is it? It can be quite sort of like, what do you mean? So quite often it's about it just introducing, oh, have you heard of Theory U? And then talking about that. I think I've participated in every event that's gone up. I follow, you know, u.lab Scotland on Facebook. I never did social media until that. I know I'm really, really against social media for various reasons. But I thought, okay, if I want to, you know, kind of really be part of this, I'll do it. So I did, and I'm able to follow, you know, current things up to date, keep up to date. But also, if I felt there was any good ideas, I would contact, I'd say the likes of Kyra, and if Kyra can help, just see where we go with that. And that's why I contacted her, even when we were doing that taster session in March this year, for which, as I said, 63 people had signed up to, and Kyra said, aye, you know, she wants to be part of it. And I think she said that, you know, it was, that she got a lot out of it as well, in terms of seeing it within an organisation like NHS.
Do you feel a part as well of the international u.lab?
Certainly that global feeling, because that's what I was trying to explain about the importance of when we did get a mention global. It was important to know that we were part of a global movement, and I will call it that, yeah. And I mean, I got contacted by somebody in Pakistan last year. I can't remember how that happened actually. No, it's going out my head, but contacted, and it happens that I speak the language that this particular person speaks, because I lived in Pakistan in the Northwest Frontier Province for 5 years. So, it was really weird being able to write messages.
Coming back.
So yes, definitely. And our question last year that I explained about the business element of u.lab, it was we got feedback from the Brazilian, I don't want to say hubbers, but people involved in the whole sort of gardening, vegetable sort of side of things, and growing their own food, producing their own food. So that was really important for us, because they directed it back at us. My line manager was the one that was the most averse to it. No, I can't do that, I can't do it. And I thought, it's all right, I kind of knew you would be. And I have to say, I'm a trained cognitive behavioural therapist. I don't particularly like mindfulness, because I think you get, and maybe strain off a wee bit, the concept behind living and being in the present moment is absolutely fine with me, absolutely fine. But the origins of mindfulness don't sit particularly comfortable with me, and so I choose to take the principles of it and apply that. And I think that for me that's the safest way to be, particularly when you're looking at the whole equality diversity issues in which you have to work, that people may take some sort of wrong thing out of it, in particular if it's branded as mindfulness. Now I'm kind of guessing that the majority of people would say, now that's a lot of baloney, but I like to think of everybody, not just the majority. And so, okay, well, what's our intention for mindfulness? If it's to get people focused on the here and now, then call it that. And if people have an aversion to closing their eyes, just make sure that that's, you can or you can. It's just about you really being in the present moment. And I just wish that it was practice. My dream would be that for every single meeting that I attend, and it can be like 20 a week sometimes, that it starts off with just, right, let's just ground ourselves, we've come from wherever it is, just take 2 minutes to, and maybe that's a prototype that can be, something. With prototypes, I thought they were supposed to be really kind of like big things, but it's like, well, big things might come off that, but it has to start somewhere. We want to participate in democracy in whole Lanarkshire, and we were going for it, flags flying and everything, and we still do. Yeah. But what I suppose maybe our expectation was that by the end of 8 weeks we would have something very tangible in terms of being a wee bit more Citizen Smith about it kind of thing. And we're actually still working on that, but what we've been able to talk about from our first hub is what we're doing just now as a result of this hub feeds into last year's. It's part of that bigger one.